Okay, for number 17, we'll be solving this rational equation. And to do this, we'll be first looking for the lowest common denominator, and we'll multiply every fraction by the lowest common denominator, okay? So let's do that. And you see, right here, this denominator is just y. This denominator is just a 3. And this right here is a factor y minus 3. We don't have any common factor, and in fact, there's nothing we can factor, right? So the lowest common denominator, let me just write it down right here, LCD. In such a case right here, since there's no common factor, we will just be multiplying 3 and the y, and then the quantity y minus 3, all right? Of course, we put on a number first, so we have 3y, and then this, y minus 3. Once again, it's this times that times that. So once you identify the LCD, you're just going to be multiplying every fraction by that, okay? As you can see, I left a space in between the fractions on purpose, so I can put this in this space, all right? So let's go ahead and do that. Right here, I will multiply 5 over y with 3y times y minus 3. I will also multiply this by 3 times y minus 3. And then for this one, same thing, 3 times y minus 3, okay? And now, you will see, after this step, we will end up with an equation that has no more fraction in the expressions, okay? So, for the first one, take a closer look. Here we have a y in the denominator, and we multiply this y. They will cancel each other out, so let's just cross them out, okay? And now, we are just going to multiply the rest together. This is 5 times 3, which is 15, okay? This is 15, and then you are going to take 15, multiply with this y. 5 times 3 once again is 15 times y. So first we will have 15y, all right? That's the first term right here. And then next, 5 times 3 is 15 times negative 3. 15 times negative 3 will give us negative 45, just like this. So when you distribute, be sure you multiply these numbers first and then distribute. So that's what we have. Next, right here, you see that this 3 and that 3 can be cancelled. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we have positive 7y. We take that, distribute, okay? Positive 7y times y is going to be positive 7y squared. Once again, you see the y times y, that's how we get the y squared. And then we have the positive 7 times that, all right? And to continue, we will have positive 7y times negative 3. Positive 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. And then don't forget, we will have to put on the y right here. So this finish up with the left-hand side. And now, for the right-hand side here, you see that the y minus 3 and this y minus 3, they cancel each other out right away. At the end, we multiply this and that together. Negative 4 times 3y, that's negative 12y. And now, you see, this equation here, we don't have any more fractions, which is great, right? And as we can see right here, we do have the 7y squared, so you know this is a polynomial, this is a quadratic situation, right? So be sure you put everything on one side, and then make one side equal to 0, and we'll solve this by factoring. All right. Before we do that though, on the left-hand side, we have the 15y minus 21y. We can combine terms. And let's write things down in order. The one with the exponent, the highest exponent first. So let's write down this first. 7y squared, right? And then 15y minus 21y, that's negative 6y. And we have the negative 45 right here. And this is equal to that, negative 12y. This is what we have. Keep in mind, we cannot factor this yet because the right-hand side is not equal to 0. So let's go ahead, put down plus 12y, and line up with the y terms. So let's add 12y on both sides. So this and that will be cancelled in. And we will have, here is 7y squared, and negative 6y plus 12y is positive 6y. And then we continue. Minus 45, and this is going to give us 0. And now, because we have a 0 on the right-hand side, as you see, this is a second degree equation. So we have to factor it, and we can factor it. right? Let's do this by the tic-tac-toe method. Okay, to get 7y squared, let's use 7y and y, right? 7y times y, we get the 7y squared. And we have to think about what times what will give us negative 45. And we have to pair this up as well, right? So we can use 3 and 15, I believe. And I am going to put down the 3 right here and 15 because I notice 7 times 3 is 21. And if I subtract 15, I get 6. So I would like to have this 15 being negative. Okay? And now let's double check. 7y times 3 is positive 21y. And negative 15 times this y is negative 15y. 21 minus 15, we do have the positive 6y. So we know this is the correct choice. Okay, so we'll put this down right here. Here's the factoring. 7y minus 15, that's the first factor. And we multiply by the next one, which is y plus 3, right? And don't forget, this is equal to 0. Let's write it down. And next, we'll just set each factor to be 0, right? So for the first one, 7y minus 15 equals to 0. And the second one, y plus 3 equals to 0. And then now we can just do this real quick. Plus 15 on both sides, so they cancel. And I get 7y equal to positive 15. And then we can divide by 7 on both sides. First answer, we have y equals to 15 over 7. And then for the second one, we minus 3 on both sides, so they cancel. And you see that we will get y equal to 0 minus 3. That's negative 3. Okay, so we got two answers right here. Don't forget that we have to check our answer, because originally we start off with a rational equation, right? So we have to be sure when we plug in these two numbers back to the denominators, we don't end up with a 0 in the denominator. Okay. First of all, if you plug in 15 over 7 into this denominator, we don't get 0, so that's good. If you plug in 15 over 7 into here, this was originally y minus 3. 15 over 7 minus 3, it's not 0 for sure, right? So this one is the answer. That's a spot check. Next, we'll plug in negative 3. You see, plug into this y, well, it's not 0. This is a 3, there's no y, so that's good. And you see that if I plug in negative 3 into this y, this is negative 3 minus 3. That's negative 6. And that's not 0. That's good. So that means this is just as legitimate as that one. In fact, both of them are the answers. So we'll box them together. They are both correct. And that's it.